Hello, welcome back, Recapped Mystery here. Today, I'm going to explain an American comedy fantasy film. Click, watch out and take care. The film begins with the introduction of the main character, Michael Newman, an architect by trade. His family of four consists of his wife Donna and two children, Ben and Samantha. Michael's overbearing boss, John Eyre, forces him to work longer hours than necessary. Michael frequently ignores his family. Despite this, Michael enjoys the limited time he gets to spend with his children, such as when he watches Dragon Tales with them before going for work. At work one day, John presents Michael with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build a luxury hotel for a Japanese corporation. He also promises Michael a promotion if he is successful in closing the contract. Michael is overjoyed by the offer, but he realizes he must go camping with his family. He later misses Ben's swimming race as well. When Michael arrives at school, he is greeted by Ben's swimming teacher Bill, with whom Ben appears to have a friendly relationship. He immediately becomes envious because he is unable to spend much time with his son. As a result, he mocks Bill's crimson Speedo. Michael spends all of his time on the phone with his boss while the family gathers for the 4th of July fireworks, which irritates Michael's mother Trudy. She complains that if Michael continues to overwork and eat junk food, he will die young. While Michael is on the phone, Ted entertains the kids with his quarter trick. Ben and Samantha are fascinated by the performance and ask their grandfather how he managed to bend the coin, but Ted says that a magician never reveals his secrets. Ted goes on to say that not even the big boy Michael has been able to understand his secret. When Michael urges Donna to postpone the camping vacation, an argument breaks out at home. He eventually calms her down and begins his research for his subject by viewing an Asian architectural video. He injures himself, though, when he misidentifies Ben's helicopter control as the TV remote. Michael goes to the grocery to get a universal remote control since he is tired of constantly mixing up the remotes. Michael walks into the Bed Bath Beyond store. He searches everywhere for the remote but cannot find it. Michael then collapses on a bed, exhausted. When he looks around, he notices the Beyond area of the store. When he enters to inspect, he is greeted by a mystery man named Morty. Michael proceeds to describe his dilemma to Morty, who then transports Mikhail to the Way Beyond warehouse. Morty then takes a strange-looking remote and gives it to Michael for free. When Michael points and presses the buttons on the remote, Morty tells him that it will program itself. A perplexed Michael asks why he is being handed the remote for free, to which Morty says, "Good guys need a break every now and then." Mikhail is about to leave when he is informed that the item is non-refundable. When Michael gets home, he continues to watch the program and starts working on the project design. Sundance, his dog, however, quickly wakes him up. Because the poor dog needs to go outside, he continues to bark. Michael becomes enraged and points the remote at Sundance, continuously pressing the volume down button while yelling at the dog to keep silent for 5 minutes. Surprisingly, the dog becomes mute, but Michael dismisses this as a delusion. Michael becomes frustrated again after taking Sundance out since the dog takes a long time to find a place to relieve himself, so he points the remote towards the dog once more while clicking the fast forward button. The trick works again, as the remote fast-tracks Sundance, who swiftly finishes his work and returns inside. Michael is astounded and now believes in the universal remote's power. He discovers that the remote can be used to manipulate reality. The next day, Michael uses the remote to delve into his past. When he watches his younger self playing football with his pals on Lake Winnipesaukee, he gets emotional. Meanwhile, Morty provides Michael with his phone number in the event that he has any queries concerning the remote. Michael uses the remote to skip over family dinners, disagreements, and even intercourse. Michael is astonished to learn, after fast-forwarding the intercourse, that he climaxed extremely rapidly and couldn't please Donna like he used to. He also discovers that he has no recollection of the conversations or commitments he made at the dinner. Michael contacts Morty and wants an explanation. Morty claims that his body is on autopilot during fast forward. This indicates he is going through the motions of daily life, but his mind is racing ahead. As a result, while Michael appears to live a regular life, he has no recollection of it. Following this insight, Michael uses the remote to skip through unpleasant experiences such as sickness, cold showers, and traffic. He also shows the Japanese businessman Mr. Watsuda the design he created on autopilot mode. The meeting appears to be going well, until Michael's overly enthusiastic boss, John, unwittingly mocks him, mistaking their names for Asian cuisine, Japan's greatest baseball players. This motivates Mr. Watsuda to excuse himself and speak privately with his team. An anxious Michael attempts to overhear Watsuda's talk but is unable to understand any of it. As a result, he uses the remote to translate their talk into English and increase the loudness. The technique succeeds, as it reveals that Michael's design was rejected by the Japanese crew, who said that it must have been created after viewing a terrible documentary on Asian architecture. They desired additional rooms in order to maximize revenues, not a sillier river in the lobby. Mr. Watsuda then instructs his colleagues to adjourn the meeting so that they can enjoy jelly shots at America's Greatest Cultural Achievement, TGI Fridays. When Mr. Watsuda approaches Michael to conclude the session, he utilizes the overheard exchange to win over the businessman. He rips up his failing design and promises to create a new one with more rooms to optimize earnings. Mr. Watsuda, overjoyed, eventually awards the contract to Michael's company. Later at home, an ecstatic Michael purchases gifts for his wife and children. When Donna inquires about Michael's happiness, he explains that John has promoted him to a partnership. Donna squeals with delight. The next day, however, Michael's elation is replaced by regret when he finds that he has not been promoted. In fact, he won't be promoted until he completes the hotel development plan and obtains Mr. Watsuda's commitment, which will take several months. Michael, devastated by the news, uses the remote to pause John and fart in his mouth. In the following scene, Michael intends to use the remote to fast forward to the time when he completes the Watsuda project. When Michael seeks Morty's guidance, Morty recalls the leprechaun from a cereal advertisement. The leprechaun is continually looking for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but when he finally finds it, it's just cornflakes. Michael doesn't comprehend the metaphor but abandons his plans to use the remote. Michael is still upset over his promotion at home, and he takes it out on his children. When Michael makes fun of their pizza and pickles, the kids start weeping. He then gets into a fight with Donna. Michael later realizes his error. He is irritated by his actions, so he uses the remote to skip ahead to his promotion and finds himself at his promotion party. He discovers that it took John a full year to promote him. During this period, Donna and Michael's relationship became strained, and they sought marriage counseling. Ben and Samantha have grown up and no longer watch the Dragon Tales animated series. He also discovers that Sundance has died. Michael sobs, regretting not allowing his late dog to hump his leg. Donna is perplexed, but she consoles him regardless. Michael resolves to improve and become a better man for Donna. He begs her not to leave him. Michael and Donna make out, but the remote skips ahead to the end of the intercourse. Michael discovers a dissatisfied Donna laying next to him on the bed. He is perplexed by the remote's ability to skip time without his intervention. He then contacts Morty, who discloses that the remote is now executing Michael's choices using its memory. Google was significantly ahead of its time. Michael skipped a lot of intercourse because he fast-forwarded through a full year. Now, whether he tries to have sexual relations or engages in activities such as showering, driving through traffic, arguing, or being sick, the remote will automatically fast-forward. Hearing this, Michael regrets ever using the remote and returns it to Morty, but it immediately reappears in his hand. He then makes many attempts to throw away and destroy the remote, but it always reappears. The next day, Michael rides his bike to work without showering in order to avoid the time being automatically accelerated. John informs him of his plans to retire and travel to Morocco. With John's retirement, Michael will become the firm's new head of the international division. While Michael is taken aback by his promotion, John comments that every account Michael has worked on has turned into gold. John also mentions that he wouldn't be surprised if Michael became CEO of their company one day. Michael is suddenly transported 10 years into the future, when he is wealthy but extremely obese. He swiftly returns home to find Ben and Samantha to be mature teenagers. Ben, like himself, has become an obese man, and Samantha has begun dating someone. He also discovers that Donna has divorced him and is now dating Ben's swimming instructor Bill. Michael strikes Bill, enraged by their friendship, and dispute erupts, and the household dog rushes on Michael, knocking his head against the wall and knocking him unconscious. Michael regains consciousness after 6 long years. Donna is by his side, and she says that when he lapsed into a coma, a CAT scan revealed cancer in his body, necessitating years of treatment. He had a heart attack after defeating cancer. Michael, on the other hand, is no longer overweight as a result of having liposuction to save his life. Later at the firm, Michael encounters an adult Ben, who has dropped a lot of weight while working out with Donna's husband Bill. Michael offers to take Ben, Samantha, and their grandparents out for ice cream, but Ben informs him that Grandpa Ted has passed away. This breaks Michael's heart, and he goes to visit Ted's grave. Michael then uses the remote to relive the last time he saw his father. Michael notices Ted has been by his office and has volunteered to take Ben and him out to supper. Michael, on autopilot, turned down the offer without even looking at the old guy. Ted persisted and offered to demonstrate Michael his favorite childhood quarter trick, but an enraged Michael yelled at his father, indicating that he had always known the trick's secret. The elderly man then apologized and walked away, tears in his eyes. Michael is overcome with humiliation and guilt. Morty then appears and apologizes for taking his father away, revealing himself to be the Angel of Death. Michael is enraged by the information and assaults Morty. Morty, on the other hand, vanishes into thin air and reappears behind him. Frightened, Michael requests that the remote transport him to a good place, whereupon the remote transports him several years into the future to Ben's wedding. Michael is overjoyed to see his mother at the wedding and gives her a deep kiss. He also encounters an adult Samantha. Michael has a heart attack after hearing her call Bill Dad, unable to handle the pain of being replaced even as a father. That night, he awakens in the hospital with Ben and Samantha by his side. Michael discovers that Ben is skipping his honeymoon due to a business deal before Ben and Samantha are escorted out by the nurse. Michael pulls the last of his power to follow them out of the hospital, fearful that Ben will repeat his mistakes. However, his body fails him and he drops onto the ground, surrounded by his family. In hushed tones, he advises Ben to always prioritize family and apologizes to Samantha for not being there for her. Michael then tells Donna that he would always love her before dying. Michael abruptly reawakens in Bed Bath Beyond. He is overjoyed to discover that everything was a dream. He is pleased to see his crappy, mediocre, middle-class automobile outside. He embraces his family and vows to spend more time with them when he returns home. He then discovers the remote on the counter, along with a message from Morty stating that he has been given a second opportunity because good guys need a break. Morty also hopes that Michael will act correctly this time. The film concludes with Michael tossing the remote into the trash, thrilled that it did not reappear. The end. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.